Hey guys, it's Brad with probateresource.com. Today I am shooting a whole bunch of series of videos with our partner in the Middle Tennessee, Nashville area, Charles, to kind of introduce himself to you, for you to get to know him. He's there in Middle Tennessee to help you out with anything you might need. All right, Charles, so why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Brad. My name is Charles. I'm the co-founder and CEO of 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐫𝐥𝐞𝐬 Home Solution. Originally, I'm from Alabama. And then my path in life took me to enlist in the Army in 2010. And then I was able to somehow stumble my way into West Point. And that's where I actually met my now business partner who started 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐫𝐥𝐞𝐬 Home Solution with me. My first duty station was Fort Campbell, Kentucky. So that's what got me into the area. This is where I met my wife. This is where we have our 2 kids now. I live now in Hendersonville. Our church here is based in the Hendersonville area. And so that's the quick synopsis of who I am, where I came from, and how I even got to Tennessee.
Awesome. And what is the name of your company that you run? So the Probate Resource, you're one of our partners, but you still you've been buying houses for years and you've done that for years. So what's the company that you run?
Called 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐺𝐝 Home Solution.
𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐺𝐝 Home Solutions. Okay, awesome. And what about what kind of areas do you serve in? You're in the Nashville area, but what kind of areas do you encompass?
So we go as far as north as Clarksville, all the way up into Montgomery County, through Davidson County, Nashville, greater Nashville area, and about a 60-mile to 1-hour drive radius all around Nashville, Sumner County, Robertson, Cheatham. And then as far south as we'll go to Maury County and even Wilson County at times, through Columbia, Murfreesboro. So really that good core Middle Tennessee locations is our geographic footprint. Started in Clarksville. Our home base now is in Hendersonville, but we have a few small satellite offices in Nashville and a couple of other cities.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about your team. You mentioned you and your partner. Do you have any other members on your team? Like what's the team structure and how do you guys typically operate?
Yeah, we're a strong team of 8. We have 3 home buying specialists that usually go out, sit down in the living rooms with homeowners, Brandon, Eric, and Corbin. Then we also have a strong transaction team that really intake everyone and get everything ready for closing. Amanda and Erica. And then we also have our operations manager who really oversees everything day to day, Bailey. And then Jeff, who is able to really structure things on the back end side, making sure everything's good to go for our closing. So really close-knit team. Everyone has a good touch on each homeowner and seller once we get them reaching out all the way until we close.
Sounds great. Yeah, you've actually got a couple more people than I do. Building a team is critical, right? And having the right people on the team, because I remember, when I was early on in this business and I was doing everything myself, right? You can't do everything yourself. You've got to have specialized people that have specialized roles to really help. It's better for the sellers to get the deals to the finish line when you have a team effort versus just kind of one person, because sometimes you're doing 1,000 things and you get scatterbrained and you forget about details and then you feel bad, so.
Absolutely. And it's something to where Jordan and I, we were switching back hats. Jordan was doing it all. I was doing it all. He would do half. I would do half. And we had a vision of what we wanted it to look like. But it really just took getting the right people that were very specialized in what they could do and really help people and build out our customer journey and our customer experience roadmap the way we wanted it to, so that everyone can get that experience that they deserve. It's hard to do that if it's just all on one person out.
Absolutely, 100%. So one of the core values that we follow at Probate Resource is acting with integrity. We also make sure that our partners that we choose, and we're very selective about who we work with, also share those same values as well. As you know, and I know, this industry is full of a lot of people who do not act with integrity at all. What do you think that means to you, like acting with integrity? What do you think that means for our business?
For Jordan and I, that's a core personal trait. I think that's not anything new in terms of coming to the business world with, I think, just our upbringing as people, how our families raised us, where we were raised, the environments we grew up in. That's also what we look for in our team members. That's just it's an intangible trait that's hard to train, but you have to have it. You have to operate that way to be able to walk into someone's home, gain their trust, and understand that for many people, the house is their most valuable asset. And that can be a very heavy burden to, help someone through the decision-making process on that. What do you do? Is this the right choice? Should you work with this? Are we a good fit? And being able to, knowing the information, because we are the experts, and being able to really provide the solution if it is working with us. If it's not, how do we get them to the solution that is best for them? And so a lot of it also was just reinforced with us through our military background, the training we received at West Point, and just having that just meant that that's just woven in us and our DNA and our everyday speak and our language, how we act, both if we're wearing our company shirts or we're not, it doesn't change. There isn't a switch. It's just always on. And so I appreciate that about Jordan. I appreciate that about my family that raised me to be that way. And then also with everyone on our team that acts like that.
Definitely. I mean, it's super critical because it helps you stand apart from everybody else too. Because there are so many just I hate to use the word dirt bags, but they're just dirt bags in our business that jerk sellers around. I've made a lot of videos about it where they will bait and switch a seller in with one offer, and then they'll renegotiate and change the offer later. Not to say that doesn't happen from time to time. Sometimes we make mistakes. I've made mistakes and we miscalculated something. There was a foundation crack we didn't see or whatever. But we talked to a seller the other night who had reached out to us, and she'd gone under contract with an investor. This is an inherited house, right? And the investor jerked her around. She gave him extensions. And then he came up with this reason of like something was wrong with a window in the house and he needed to terminate the contract. And it's like, she was like, what? A window? Like for real? And they'll come up with whatever weasel reason they can to get out of the deal. And unfortunately from a seller's standpoint, they've been jerked around for weeks. Now they got to go back to the drawing board, start all over again, find another company. Sometimes they're embarrassed to reach out to the other companies that they told no to. You got to start that process all over again. And now you're 2, 3, 4 more weeks away from selling the house again when you thought it was going to close in the next 3 days. I'm sure you guys deal with that in the Middle Tennessee area. You've probably encountered some of these other investors that claim to buy houses, right?
Absolutely. And it is unfortunate. And I would say because again, we can see the writing on the wall many times. And that's, again, going back to the integrity piece. We're not going to make an offer if we cannot follow through on it. We're not going to commit to something that we can't do. Yes, at times, very rarely, a mistake could be made, but immediately we own it. We take 100% responsibility. We get out in front of it. We communicate, and then we come back with a better plan or a solution that we can do. That's still a win-win. But I would say a large percentage of homeowners we have helped, it took the second or third, interaction down the road where they did come back because someone was not able to follow through on a price. And again, there's no judgment. There's no, I told you so. None of that. It's just, we're here. If someone decides to work with somebody else, by all means, that's their choice. You have to get the information you need. All we say is, hey, if your experience changes from now until closing, just give us a call. And many times they do.
I like that because they do. They unfortunately, a lot of people they think that the highest offer is the best offer. And that's not always the case. There's a lot more, and I talked about it in a lot of my videos that I've done through Probate Resource. There's a lot more components to evaluating an offer other than price. And there's a lot of guys, these kind of guys in our business that bait and switch, and they're just throwing out a high price just to get you to sign the contract. Yes. Knowing full well, they know 100% that they are going to be changing that price later. That's wrong, in my opinion. Like, that's just completely wrong that you would do that to somebody, right? So, making sure that you are not entering into a contract that you don't intend to fulfill and go through with it is critical. That's one of when I bring on partners to Probate Resource, that is one of my interview questions is how do you feel about that? Like, because I do not want to work with a partner that is not going to do that, right? That is not going to do what they say they're going to do. Imagine that, right? Just do what you say you're going to do.
It's crazy how that's one of our biggest competitive advantages, is simply doing what we say we're going to do. And we have plenty of seller testimonials and social proof out there that people can watch and see where those, individuals tell those stories and those experiences and what it's like. And again, sometimes that higher price, that is all that someone cares about, and it is important. I totally understand that. So long as who they're working with follows through on it, then that's great. Because many companies might have a different strategy, what have you, but the intention, like you said, because in our market in the Nashville area, yes, there are companies, as soon as we hear the name, we know what they're going to do. We know their playbook. And we try to follow up as politely and just consistently, just to make sure they're taken care of. And then as soon as they get that call of, hey, something's wrong with the window, we now have to reduce the price, we're right there.
Yeah.
Because we know we'll follow through on it.
Yeah, I had one a few months ago. They asked the guy for a $20,000 price reduction because he said the house needed new windows. This house was built in like 2006. So like the windows were fine on the house. And second of all, it's not $20,000 to replace all the windows in that house, even with really nice windows. I told the guy, I was like, look, man, I said, you got X amount per windows. I pay X amount per window. My guy that does my windows would charge retail price this amount. So even if you paid his retail price per windows, you're still only like less than 10 grand. So this guy's just blowing smoke, trying to get you to reduce the price by 20 grand. And I told him, I said, you know what he did is he tried to wholesale the deal, and he got offers from another investor for, less than what he had offered you. And now he's trying to get you to reduce your price by $20,000 because he knows he's going to sell it to the other guy for $10,000 more, and he's going to make 10 grand in the middle. That's what he's trying to do. And that's exactly what it did. I went back, and for some reason, the guy ended up not selling to us, even though our offer was $5,000 higher than what the guy backtracked to. So we were going to pay him more money for the house. And I was like, dude, I'll close next week. I went and looked at the house. I said, I don't need any due diligence. I'll close next week. And I looked later, and the guy did exactly that, like exactly what I said. I looked at the settlements, and I could see where he sold it. He bought it and then resold it for more. And he was just trying to bake his profit into the number. And this happened 60 days. It took him 60 days to close on this deal. It's like, if you're an investor, you should be closing in 2 or 3 weeks tops. Like if you're taking 60 days to close on a house, that's insane.
Yeah.
Sure.
We've seen that. And I think sometimes with the seller, it is that emotional drain. Don't want to restart. You're saying it earlier. Sometimes it might be a little bit of embarrassment of having to come back. But again, there's no, I told you so. There is no judgment at all. It's just, we just want to get it done on the timeline that you want. And here's the price we know we can do. And so that is sometimes we have to kind of encourage or coach some people if we're following up with them. And then we start to understand that, okay, sounds like the timeline got extended. Sounds like the price is changing. Sounds like the terms are changing. And it's unfortunate. And I really hate that it happens to people, obviously in your market and my market. I'm sure it happens many others across the country too.
Definitely.